All right, students, this video will cover example 3B on slide 6. We'll also cover questions 8 and 9. So if you'll do me a favor, go ahead and pause the video and you try question B. And remember, this time you're seeing equals 0, which means this has solutions. All right, go ahead and give it your shot. Okay, so first of all, I do realize that there is an A. A equals 25. There's no B. And I do have a C, which equals -1. Well, again, notice the rows have changed. And A is not equal to +1. Means we got to try to factor it. So we're going to go ahead and say, what two things can we factor out of 25 that will give us a 0 when we combine them? That would be 5 and 5. Then we come over here and we realize, hey, this is easy. This is 1 and 1, but it's negative, so 1's negative, 1's positive. So you come over here and we say, all right, well, this needs to be factored out to 5x and 5x, because of course the x squared. 1 could be factored out to 1 negative and 1 positive. So we get 5x minus 1, 5x plus 1, and it all equals 0. All right, not a big deal here. All we got to do now is the zero product property because it is equal to 0. So let's do the zero product property. 5x minus 1 equals 0. 5x plus 1 equals 0. Move the ones. 5x equals 1 and 5x equals -1. And finally divide by 5 and you get x equals 1/5 and x equals -1/5. By the way, don't forget, anytime there's a negative, it doesn't matter if it's in the numerator or the denominator, it belongs to the whole fraction. So here's our solution set, -1/5 and +1/5. All right, now move on to question number 8. What I'd like you to do again, as always, pause, see if you can figure it out, and then resume, and let's see what happens. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and find me A, B, and C. So A is, again, 25 because they have no creativity in them. B is -10. And C is, this time, C is a +1. Again, I could find A, B, and C because it is equal to 0. Well, this time we want two things that multiply together that give us 25, that when we combine them is going to give us 10, and we're still going to stick with 5 and 5. This one's pretty easy. It's 1 and 1. But look, did you notice B is negative? Okay, since B is negative, I want to multiply two things together to give me a positive that when I combine them gives me a negative. So it would be a negative and a negative. All right, let's try this one out. So we're going to do 5x, -1, -1. Well, since everything's repeating, you know it's going to be 5x minus 1 squared equals 0. Well, that means if I have a 5x minus 1 and a 5x minus 1 and they're both equal to 0, then I only need to work one of them. So let's do the 1. So I get 5x minus 1 equals 0. I mean, I guess you could work both of them, but don't see the benefit in that. 5x equals positive 1. X equals 1/5. And again, here in this situation, because it is just one solution, you don't need to show both of them. So we're just going to go, the answer is 1/5. I guess you could also say the answer is x equals 1/5 because these two mean pretty much exactly the same thing. Which, interestingly enough, I found out that Edulastic, if you wanted this one and you input this one, Edulastic will give you credit. Okay, this last one, I'm gonna have to look at it closely. Go ahead and put me on pause and see if you can figure out what to do with it. All right, let's see. This is one of those equations that say you have something being squared and something else being squared. Notice we could say C is not there and there's only a B there. We could say that B is equal to 0 and the C is the negative 2x squared. It doesn't matter, but keeping in line with the way we keep thinking about it, I just want you to remember, hey, if it's equal to 0, then you're going to try to solve using factoring. And our first step here is to say, look, that's an 8 and that's a 2, so they're both divisible by 2. So if I divide 2 out, the 2 out, I'm going to get 2 outside of parentheses, inside of parentheses. I'm going to get whatever's left over. But did you notice there's an x squared here and an x to the 4th here? Well, the one that could be factored out would be the x squared. So let's put the x squared here. Okay. 2x squared times what will give us 8x to the 4th? Well, 2x squared times what? Well, the what part would be 4x to the 2nd power. And play this game again. 2x squared times what would get you 2x squared? Well, 2x squared times negative 1. But you're not done. And the reason you're not done is because now if you look inside this parentheses, you have perfect. This is a perfect square. Believe it or not, this is a perfect square, and there's a negative between them, so it's the difference of squares. All right, so if it's the difference of squares, we really have A equals 4, B equals 0, C equals 1, and it's a negative 1. So this is going to be negative 1, positive 1, and this is going to be 2 times 2. All right, let's see what we got. So we're going to factor this guy out right here into 2x. Factor this one out to negative 1, positive 1. Now we bring everything down and we say 2x parentheses 2x minus 1 parentheses 2x plus 1 all equals 0. It's a rather large zero product property, but hopefully you'll see where we're going. We're going to split this one to 2x equals 0, this one to 2x minus 1 equals 0, and then this one to 2x plus 1 equals 0. Solve this one first. X equals 0, which is a viable solution. Solve this one next. 2x equals 1. X equals 1/2. I didn't solve this one last. 2x equals negative 1. X equals negative 1/2. And notice this is the first time we get 3 different answers, which again you could write it as negative 1/2, 0, and 1/2. So there's your solutions. Hope this helps.